Okay, before you can start drop shipping, making money, selling a product, finding influencers, launching campaigns, building a website, or any of the above, you have to identify what niche you want to sell in. And for those of you who don't even understand what that is, a niche is, let's say, dogs, okay? So now you're gonna have dog products, you have a dog store. A dog is a niche, okay? So something like that where it's niche specific. We are gonna talk about the difference between a more general store. You can think about that kind of as like Walmart. You know, they have all sorts of products that vary. We're gonna talk about the pros and cons of each as well as what I recommend you should do. And I'm gonna give you my opinion on a few different niches. But when you're selecting a niche, you have to do that before you can go do product research. Because otherwise, what products are you selling? You have to identify your niche before you can pick what products, because the products are inside of that niche. So first of all, one of the biggest things that I could recommend to you and that I live by every single time I build a new store is I love to find something, and this is not every single time, but 9 times out of 10, I love to find something that people are passionate about. If there's a genuine passion around it, it makes it a lot easier for you to get an impulse buy. And when it comes to a lot of this stuff like we're doing with marketing, e-commerce, dropshipping, yes, we're going to be retargeting. It's okay if you don't know what any of this means right now. Yes, we're going to be doing retargeting, email marketing stuff on the back end to bring people back who didn't buy, but we want as many people on the front end to buy. And so that's called an impulse buy. And if there's a passion around something, people are moved either emotionally or socially. You can kind of hit them from either angle. We're going to be talking about that here in these next few videos on how you can structure that and really get them to buy on the spot immediately whatever you're trying to sell them. So if you can find something, let me give you a few examples. Dogs, people are passionate about their dogs. Relationships, people are passionate about the person they love. Sports, people get very passionate about sports. So just anything like that where it has a passion. That's just your advantage if it's something people are passionate about, okay? Now, I know a lot of you guys are gonna ask this, you've been asking all the time, general versus niche, that's a big debate. My personal opinion, I know a lot of you guys might not know exactly what niche you wanna sell in, and that's okay. You can do a more general store, not a general store, I said a more general store. So let's say it's kind of an animal store. You have fish, turtle, dogs, cats, horses, you know, so it's a little more broad, but still inside of that animal niche, where it's like a half general store, if you will. What I recommend to people who have anything more general, even if it's completely general, start selling and testing products in all these different niches. So if you have a store, like I just gave you that example with 5 different animals, don't just be testing all the stuff in the dogs. Go through, test the horses, the dogs, the cats, whatever, inside of every niche that's inside of your store, and based on what starts working better, niche down almost immediately. So you're gonna wanna focus in on what's working as fast as possible. There's multiple reasons as to why you don't want a general store, mainly your Facebook pixel, which we are going to be talking about here shortly in these modules, as well as the back end with email marketing. It's very hard, and you're going to understand that fully, but it's very hard with the general store to have that stuff be done effectively. So with that being said, just kind of keep that in mind. You're going to want to pick something specific. Now, moving on from that, it is platform relative. So what I mean by that is not every niche has the potential to make money with, let's say, Instagram influencers. Not every niche has a lot of influencers in that space that you can buy shoutouts from and get sales from. So you might have to do Facebook. But if you don't know anything about Facebook, or you don't have, you know, obviously we're covering Facebook inside of here, so you're gonna know everything, but you wanna be able to use Instagram ideally if you can. So that's where it really comes into this next point. You're gonna wanna do influencer research beforehand. We're showing you exactly how to pick the pages, do everything and structure it. But just know, once you pick a niche, even ideally before, you're gonna need to do some research. You could jump to our influencer videos inside of the Instagram section if you want and go through that, but you wanna make sure that there's at least, I would say 5 to 10, but minimum of like 3 to 5 pages that you can run shoutouts on that are quality. And before you start building your store, investing time, money, energy, anything into it, you're gonna wanna make sure that those influencers are in place, and ideally you're in contact with them. And the only reason I say this is, you know, I didn't do this with my first 2 stores, but on the 3rd I did, and it made me really happy that I had contacted them beforehand before I put in the work. And I'll tell you why. I launched my store. 30 minutes after I launched my 3rd store, I made a sale. Within a few hours, I had over $200 in sales. And that was small, way back, that was super small influencers, whatever, but I was able to get that immediate traction with the store just because I did a little bit of research and work on the front end. Maybe it took me 15 minutes, so super simple. But it kind of validates all the work you're gonna put in. So if you're gonna be picking a niche, doing product research, building out a store, and doing all this stuff, that takes time. And it's frustrating if you do all that and it's not gonna work. So that's why I recommend you do a little bit of influencer research beforehand, just so you know for a fact there's an audience that you can tap into. Okay. Now here, I didn't want to jump in and really give you my full opinion, just because things change. Niches are constantly changing. But I'm going to tell you, back to what I said about it being platform relative. I'm going to tell you a few things that I know for a fact. It is, in my opinion, quote unquote, I know that these are very difficult, not impossible. They're difficult, saturated, overused, whatever you want to call it. I hate the word saturated, because as long as you're good at marketing, you can still make money even with all of these. But on Instagram specifically, these are going to be a little bit tough for you. Watches. A lot of people are doing that. A lot of just people in that space. It's a little bit crowded, and a lot of the people don't know what they're doing. So kind of killed a lot of the influencers with that. Same goes with men's luxury. That's not because of the niche. You can still make money with it on other platforms and even on Instagram. But the influencers, specifically the influencers, I guess for both of these first two, it's typically a lot of engagement groups. We're going to be talking about that in the influencer section with Instagram, but you're going to see a lot of fake comments, fake likes. It's a lot of boosted. It's kind of pushed up on a pedestal to make the account look better than it actually is, and it results in next to no sales or even no sales. I see it happen all the time. It's a little bit tough in those niches just to make it work on Instagram with influencers. So with that being said, the typical. I really try and stay away from what I think that other people would think to do. So most people are like, oh, yeah, let me pick a niche. Let me think. Dogs, let me do dogs. I don't want to just do something as simple as that. I want to go a layer deeper, kind of dive further in depth, get something a little bit more specific and more creative. Because when it comes to marketing, I'm going to explain this concept really, really fast. If any of you guys know who Russell Brunson is, you've read his book, Expert Secrets, he talks about a blue ocean. So think about two different oceans. A red ocean. It's bloody, that's why it's red. There's all these people fighting and killing each other, and so it's very competitive, right? That's why it's red. You want to create your own blue ocean. It's kind of a subcategory of that red one that nobody has tapped into. So just think about it like that. Try and get a little bit more creative. Think about it, brainstorm, figure out what niche you want to sell in, and based on that, you can go do product research and figure out exactly what you're going to be selling and testing inside of that niche. Now, with that being said, this is one of those things that I really don't want you guys to overthink. Pick something, be very logical with your decision. Ideally have it be something that you're already interested in, that you generally have a little bit of knowledge or a little bit of curiosity about. That's just gonna make it more fun. I know that just based off experience. So pick something, run with it, start building the store, continue going through the content, all these videos, because you're gonna wanna bang this stuff out as fast as possible and get to the marketing. You wanna start testing as soon as you can. So don't overthink it, spend some time, do your research, think about it, brainstorm, pick something, and then just run with it. Don't spend 2 weeks on this, just get it going. That's all I have for you on picking a niche. I'm gonna see you guys over in the next video.